Greens everyone, Silver Down to 98, back out again with another reaction. We're going to finish up, was Lord Drakkon versus Ohma Zi-O EVER close? So let's see what the rest of these details are, because we saw that they were affecting multiverses at this point, including Tommy affecting literally all the Ranger multiverse, while Ohma Zi-O was apparently affecting every Kamen Rider multiverse before him, which means he's more limited, but the fact remains that he was able to affect pretty much every Kamen Rider coming before him, and even to the point where he's able to absorb most of their power. So yeah, let's see how they keep on power scaling.
All of that is Kamen Rider Saver. No, that's not a dimension. It's just some dude. And by some dude, I mean literally God. Kamen Rider Saver, or Kugakudo, was a researcher of the Yggdrasil Corporation who died in a research project gone wrong. Instead of instantly being dragged to hell where he belongs, his soul will transcend dimensions.
Where he belongs, of course. She was just little details.
And essentially be brought into a perpetual state of limbo as he becomes a being of pure energy with a plan of Project Saber, which is basically just the third impact from Evangelion. He tries to make all of humanity merge together and transcend to a higher dimension with them. After actually succeeding in reaching transcendence, he, well, became a god. An omnipotent, omnipresent being that has grown beyond the concepts of time, space, life, death, and is merged with the greater multiverse, in a space in between universes where all possibilities infinitely converge and expand into new possibilities in universes. This same guy, after a long, grueling battle with the main cast and transforming into his final form, which is a skeleton T-Rex for some reason, I think it's symbolic or something. I'm not completely sure. I don't know. He will finally stand face to face to Kamen Rider Gaim, the guy
Okay.
after, and also known as the Man of the Beginning, who has reached a similar level of godhood as Kudo. Kudo then gets fucking one-shotted by him and slowly erased from existence. Considering everything stated before, Saber would have transcended everything in the Rider multiverse and the rest of the Rider cosmology 60. If you don't believe it's like, I don't know, universal or some shit, because the whole omnipotent thing, it's a whole can of worms. Oh, by the way, I'm still going. As above all, that is the world of the unofficial Sentai, Akiba Ranger. This universe sees all the Super Sentai, and by extension Kamen Rider, as fiction, similar to how we do. The Akiba Rangers can then interact with these fictional characters via the Delusion world, which connects their real world with the fictional world of Sentai. I say their real world, as it was revealed later in the show that Akiba Ranger is also a fictional world, all being written by and controlled by Subaru Hate, which is just a pen name to represent the author and greater company of Toei, who resides in their own higher dimension, which is just our world. Literally, it's just our world. And at the end of the story, they'll decide what season becomes official or unofficial. It is reasonable to say these worlds of Akiba Ranger and the real world above Akiba Ranger is at least 7th to 8th dimensional, respectively. Arguably outer, since we're kind of literally beyond fiction right now. A similar event happens with the heroes of Zenkaiger and Kamen Rider Saber, trying to stop the erasure of their history by being launched outside of their dimension and being a young Shotaro Ishinomori. Yes, that Ishinomori, as in the creator of both Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, along with Cyborg 99. Ishinomori. As
wait, don't you mean 009, so 99?
The real person and original creator and author of both series. They can freely alter and even erase both series from existence. It is fairly safe to say that the Ishinomori shown in the movie lies in a similar dimensional power as Subaru Hate / Toei from Akiba Ranger, making it yet again 8-dimensional or boundless, again beyond fiction. You know how it be. This happens just one more time in Heisei Generations Forever, as the main plot of the movie revolves around a very rare type of Imogen, aka one that isn't a manipulative, psychopathic piece of shit that wants to erase you from all the time and space, because fuck it, why not? Grants the wish of a young Kamen Rider fan named Shingo to bring all of his favorite heroes, the Kamen Riders, into the real world, or real life, whatever. Similar to Ishinomori in Superhero Senki, a time jacker by the name of Tid was using Futalos and Shingo as part of his plan to erase all Kamen Riders from existence in the real world by using the power of Kamen Rider Kuga, the first ever Heisei Kamen Rider. This makes 3 separate occasions in which both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai has acknowledged and fought in the real world, bringing a surprising amount of consistency to this 8D to boundless scaling for the Kamen Rider cosmology. And all of this, can be destroyed by Kamen Rider Decade. Arguably in base, as it causes existence as a multiversal singularity, his entire role as Decade is to be the Kamen Rider that can destroy the entire Kamen Rider multiverse. Now, at the end of this story, Decade will actually fight Ohma Zi-O 2-on-1. The younger version of Zi-O is also there. It's like a whole thing. But anyways, he will find him in his new strongest form, Decade Complete 21, which is like the ugliest suit of all time, but whatever. There isn't any official numbers for this one, but
yeah, can't really argue with the ugliness on that one. That one was not Not the design team's finest moment, as it were. Yeah. No. Anyone know what the design team was thinking on that one? Because Decade 21 Final Form was, I'd say it was just a cluttered mess when you get down to it. It was like, it's like one of those guys who, like in, what's the best way to explain it? Like in Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, where they have like, I've won many card shop tournaments and even a regional tournament, so I have these cards in my deck. And so he's just like, showing like a cloak, and underneath the cloak is like his cards that are his winning deck or whatever it is, just individually. Why?
For the sake of just making one, let's just say every rider included on this form is just another multiplier stacked on top of Decade's own power. So right now, Decade is fighting Ohma Zi-O with a base power of infinity to the power of 4 times 20. And in this fight, Ohma, who, by the way, isn't even at full power, he's actually at like the brink of death right now. You watch the show, you get it. I shit you not, Decade gets whacked, cracked, smacked, and passed by Ohma until he was defeated in this form. And by defeated, I mean died. A massively nerfed Ohma Zi-O killed a multiversal singularity in like 4 fucking hits. This quite blatantly puts Ohma Zi-O in that 8th dimensional level of power, possibly 9th dimensional considering how hard he dropped Decade, while being at like the absolute trench of his power. Again, all of this can be scaled up to boundless or universal or whatever you want to call it due to the events that happened in the real world or affected the real world in Akiba Ranger, Superhero Senki, and Heisei Generations Final. So, that's it, I guess. I mean, it's pretty blatantly obvious who wins this. Like, even if I highball Dragon to, like, I don't know, infinite dimensional because of some statement of the Morphing Grid or something, he still gets quite literally demolished by just Ohma Zi-O's raw aura.
It's just uses Golden Freddy's just like, moment. Always some new weirdo. I mean, yeah, I could see his reaction being that. It was just like, always some new weirdo. I tell you, everyone trying to challenge me.
You know, but that's a lame way to end a bit. Oh, this old rubber guy, solos and one-shots this younger rubber guy, the end, you know. But what if we make things just a little bit more interesting? How about we equalize their stats and make this a battle out their abilities to see who comes out on top? Yeah, that'd be fun. There's gotta be a way Power Rangers fans want to get a W out of constantly suffering from the hands of Hasbro. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, let's go. And it's so. Yep. You see that little pile of dust right there? That's kind of what's left of Drakkon. All right, let's break it down. Now, I'm not saying Drakkon is just some walking power break with no real hacks to his name. Of course not. He is actually kind of cracked being put alone in a vacuum. Him being another version of Tommy Oliver, wielding the fused power of both the Green and White Ranger. He is a master level martial artist and weapons master, with other abilities like energy projection, teleportation, and some resistance to mind control. And during his multiversal conquest, he'll only continue to grow in power by stealing the powers of other Ranger teams by stealing their morphing. These other teams are the Mighty Morphin Rangers when they were ninjas, Zi-O, Samurai, Ninja Steel, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Dino Thunder, Dino Charge, Lightspeed, and Jungle Fury. This gives Drakkon further access to magic, all the elements, further weapon and martial arts mastery, and soul manipulation via astral projection. And with a Morphing Heart and transcendence into godhood, Drakkon now has access to full-blown reality war portal creation across the multiverse, existence erasure, and immortality via a causality. In any other matchup, there is probably a really high chance Drakkon was just low diff anybody who stands his way with these abilities. The problem here is Ohma Zi-O is not one of them. Ohma can practically do everything Drakkon can do and so much more. As the king of time and space, he has, you guessed it, time powers. All of, but not limited to, precognition and future sight, time stop, time slow, time acceleration, air by himself to make himself as fast as he wants, or he can just boot the whole area with time rays that rapidly accelerates anything Ohma wants by hundreds of years in like a couple seconds. Time reversal and time travel. Along with that, he has reality warping, existence eraser, temporal eraser, conceptual eraser, the ability to change the density of his attacks to whatever he chooses, control the laws of cause and effect, which doesn't feel like it matters at this point, considering the suit has complete damage negation, and while Drakkon has access to a good chunk of Power Rangers, Ohma Zi-O has full-on access to the powers of every single Heisei Kamen Rider ever. Now, a lot of people argue he only has the power of the main writers, but in the very scene where he states he has the power of all Kamen Riders, you can see the ride watches of not only primary writers, but also secondary, tertiary, and even villain writers be absorbed into his own power. Now, I won't go over every single hacks in every single season, but I'll try to go over all the big ones Ohma Zi-O may have access to from each season. Black hole creation. Bypass defense via biochemical manipulation. As with the right formula, Bill can create a gas that can neutralize air causing thermal changes in a person's genetic structure. Reality warping powered by the collapse of the universe. Actual invincibility. Like, not in the sense that he's really durable. I'm talking about like supersonic, Star Mario, complete invulnerability. Even to like time hacks and reality warping. Oh, by the way, it lasts for a given amount of time. As in the X-Day novel, it stated that if he fought grade 1 million as Hyper Muteki, it will take at least a decade straight to break the stalemate. He's serious. Plot manipulation. Yeah, you know how Kamen Rider Saber's catchphrase is how he decides how the story ends? Well, Emu, like, actually decides how the story ends. Possession. Cannibalism. Summary an army of ghost heroes from the past. Resistance to gravity manipulation on a planetary scale. Cosmic awareness and omnipotence. Access to all forms of magic and can absorb magic or other elements with seemingly no limits. Gravity manipulation and becoming a Bruce Lee reference.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Infinite duplication.
I'm going to turn into a truck now. Birch, church, ding ding church.
Instant access to all the world's history and information via the Gaia library. Create dimensional walls for defense and instant travel across the multiverse. Soul attacks and a really fucking cool background whenever he wants. Possession and time travel. Daring today, aren't we? Show that came before Ghost and Zi-O. Increased speed via the manipulation of photons. Internal attacks via sound manipulation. Immortality, banger theme song, and the indomitable human spirit. Lightsabers can travel in and out of mirrors at any point in time and steal weaponry from Drakkon with Strangemen. Resistance to mind control from literal Satan. And instantly igniting enemies and fire for as long as he wants, like he's part of the Uchiha. Oh, quick BT dub. Ohma also has the ability to summon temporal clones of every single Kamen Rider ever and them all to his level. Meaning, if he wanted to, he could just hit Drakkon with literally everything I just talked about at the same time. Yeah, so, that was a lot. Simply put, there's just too many ways Ohma can just instantly end the fight in ways Drakkon would have no defenses for. Drakkon may be a causal being, but so is Decade, and Deno, and Waz, and two of them are arguably on an even higher scale than Drakkon. And Zi-O's time hacks still work on Decade, being there's quite literally nothing stopping Ohma from just booming the whole battlefield with time rays and forcing Drakkon to just age into dust, or revert Drakkon's age into a Tommy that never had the powers in the first place. He could use the power of Build Genius to create some awful concoction that takes advantage of Drakkon's deteriorating biology. Hell, he could possibly use Ryuki's copy and Strangeman to duplicate or just flat out steal any of Drakkon's weaponry. Saba? Gone. The Dragon Dagger? Gone. The Morphin Heart? Yank that shit from his chest. And again,
Ohma
you can just instantly summon every Kamen Rider in existence and just have them jump Drakkon as Ohma just sit there on his throne and watch the fireworks. There is maybe one singular win condition Drakkon may have when he's fighting Ohma Zi-O. See, despite him pretty much being a time god, Ohma is still tied down to his past. It ain't big alterations to Solo happens before he ever becomes Ohma in the current or future or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know time here. Ohma may just be erased from existence. So if Drakkon, like the bitch he is, decides to go back in time and destroy the old Zigu driver Sogo may have, or just flat out kill Sogo, he could end the fight right then and there. But let's be for real for a sec. You think Drakkon is gonna get away with timey-wimey gobbledygook against a guy with a clock for a face? Ohma also has access to the intelligence of some of the smartest characters in Kamen Rider. And if Sento's IQ is any way comparable to Hongo, which it should be, him being a super genius is kind of his whole thing, then we're looking at like a bare minimum IQ of 600. And that was before the cyborg modification. Ohma will be able to think of every single win con imaginable for Drakkon even finishes his first speech upon arriving there, leaving Drakkon basically no chance to even attempt time travel, which, by the way, will get negated by either Ohma time traveling with them or just making a time portal and forcing them back into the present fight. So, you know, all of this already sounds really bad, but it wouldn't be as bad if it weren't for just one thing. Drakkon will never, in any way, shape, or form, will ever just permanently kill Ohma Zi-O. Let me explain. See, as Solo's powers continue to evolve, he became more than...
Could never permanently? Wait, is this because he has that time control ability to be able to, like, summon the echoes of Warriors Past? He could just summon another version of himself, basically. I mean, that's one way to do it, but... dang.
Just some guy in a costume. As he grew in power, he became the embodiment of the concept of the Henshin generation of Kamen Rider. Ohma Zi-O is just the strongest of the generation. He is his generation. He is the Heisei Kamen Rider. His like third weakest form transcends and rules over the concepts of the past, future, good, evil, light, and dark, basically making him beyond any form of trans-duality. If Drakkon wants any hope of permanently defeating Ohma Zi-O, he has to erase the concept of the entire Heisei era across the entire multiverse. And even if he somehow manages to do that, that will probably be a temporary victory at best, because there will always be people who will remember the history of Kamen Rider. Time creates the people creates memories. Memories create history. If the people remembers the history of Kamen Rider, aka one of history's most influential superheroes of all time, Kamen Riders will always come back. And if all the Kamen Riders come back, so does Ohma. In short, there is really no way a fool like Drakkon could ever hope to defeat Ohma Zi-O. You wanna know why? Because Sogo was never just some guy. He was a man born to be king.
Well, there we go.
Oh shit, you're still here. I guess I didn't make like an actual ending to my video yet, so I guess I gotta go up and make an outro real quick. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure. Screw it. Let's go. First things first, huge shout outs to my buds, Andrew and Law, for giving me their voices to use in the video. Also a smaller shout out to Storm and Maho. Their voices didn't make it into the video, but I do appreciate the thoughts they had in wanting to be in the video in the first place. So, you know, shout out to them. Yeah, if you can't.
What Sonic game is this? I'm just like, wait, what?
So this is like my first ever scripted video, and the longest video I'll hopefully make for a very long time. This was way longer than I ever hoped, ever thought it'll ever be. I started this back in like October, November-ish, and I thought I could just script this out, pump it out in the CapCut, make it like 10-15 minutes-ish minimum, right? But then I just kept going and going and going and going and keep looking and looking and looking. And even after all this, finally getting this video out, all the research and stuff, I still missed some parts. I think like I was too deep into it, but I found out like the introduction of like brain worlds from Go Onger, which like will upscale a bunch of things a lot via like the introduction of string theory. So that, you know, that's cool. There's been some like revisions of the Wonder World and the Ideon realm, I mean like higher dimensions and like even all of that, like Platonic realms or some shit, which is like crazy. That's like some shit you'd be hearing in like DC. It's just a bunch of stuff. I still feel like I maybe could have gone over, but I was too deep into it anyway. I like too far into the video, but I found them out anyways. I couldn't just like cram it in.
Yeah. Oh man, still, someone tell me what the Sonic game is. That looks like a fun time actually against Mephiles. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so that was awesome. Now I know what the power scaling is between Drakkon and Ohma, and I thought Drakkon was was quite the crazy one, but man, Ohma Zi-O, he's got some power into that hood. He's got some power. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. Looking forward to seeing more from these guys as we continue on to check out more Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, all that good jazz. And it looks like maybe some Sonic stuff. Anyway, you guys take care. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Please like, comment, subscribe down below so we can keep on growing the channel and reaching more people. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!